A very good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you all are taking good care of yourself by staying home and staying safe. I am Fatima Kul Sawala from Atmiya Green School, Jadeshwar, and from today onwards, I would be teaching you English. So, welcome to my class. Students, you have already completed the chapter Quality of Unit 5 from your course book. The madam who taught you previously has completed the explanation and the question answers. So today we would be moving ahead with the next topic, that is vocabulary, and it's on page number 119 of your course book. But before moving ahead with the exercise, I would just like to tell you a short summary of this chapter. Quality is one of the known story of Mr. Jessler, a German shoemaker who used to live in London. Mr. Jessler was the person who was known as the best shoemaker in the town, and he also used best leather. The Jessler brothers' shop was run by two brothers who made beautiful boots. His brothers were people of skilled craftsmanship, hence, their shoes were never worn out. Even though they made shoes of high quality, but they did not have many takers. Even though they made shoes of high quality, they did not have more takers because they were not able to advertise their products properly to one and all. The Chesler brothers believed that the quality of their work, remember the quality of their work, their boots would speak for themselves. Mr. Jessler could not come around to thinking of selling something which he considered an art. That means that according to Mr. Jessler, making shoes was an art, and so he didn't make it a business. It was with this value that the Jessler brothers maintained their tradition of making the best boots in the town, quality and consistently till their death, because they were not business guys but artists. So, students, I hope that you might have recalled the story, and so now let's move on towards our exercise. So, I would request you to open page 119 in your textbook. So students, here you can see the exercise in vocabulary, that is synonyms. Look at the words from the story given in the box below. Find suitable synonyms of these words to fill in the blanks. Use a dictionary if required. So here are some words which are used in the chapter, and you have to use the same words over in the fill in the blanks given over here. Synonyms means the words having similar meanings. There might be two words, but their meanings would be similar. So let's see the exercise over here. The first sentence is the team performed dash and we won the match. So over here you can use splendidly. So this is answer number 1. The team performed splendidly and won the match. Splendidly means splendidly, that means wonderfully. Now let's see the second one. My mother was raised in a small town of no great dash. So we have already used the word distinction before. It means no difference. So here this is answer number 2. The mother was raised in a small town of no great distinction. Third one, the dash of having a good degree is that It makes you very employable. That means importance. So the word which means importance is essence. So this is your answer number 3. Fourth one, the weak child gave his mother a dash smile before going to sleep. So the child who is already weak, he might have given a weak smile. So here the word van means weak. So this is answer number 4. Now let's see the fifth one. The superstitious and ignorant people refused to buy the house because they said it was dash and got misery to its inmates. So here the word we are going to use is ill-omened. That means a bad one. So answer number 5 is ill-omened. And the sixth one, the proud student spoke with a great deal of dash in his voice. So the last answer, remaining one, is contempt. So this is answer number 6. Contempt means the feeling that a person or a thing is worthless. That means considering oneself to be worthless. That means without any value. So students, I would be sending you the answers and we have already discussed. So please write it down. Now let's move on towards our next topic, that is writing portion on page number 120. So let's start our next topic, that is article writing. So students, do you have any idea about what is article writing? Well, article is a piece of writing written for a large audience. The main motive behind writing an article is that it should be published either in newspapers or magazines or journals, so as to make some difference in the world. It may be the topic of interest of the writer or it may be related to some current issue. The topic can either be serious or not so serious. So, an article is written with the following objective. The first thing is to bring out the topic or matter of interest in the limelight. That means we are writing about something which we want to bring into the eyes of the audience. The article provides information on the topic. That means it is related about the specific issue and we are going to give the information or we are going to write about it in detail. And it offers suggestion and also piece of advice. The articles are often used to give the suggestions of and advice. It influences the readers and urges them to think. If we write an article about some important current issue, then the people who is reading it might start thinking about it deeply. The article discusses various stories, or it can be related to any person or location or technical developments. So, students, here you have to write about such one person. So let's see the first question which is given in your textbook. Imagine you are a customer and learn of Gessler's death. Write an article about him for your school magazine. Don't forget to give a headline and a byline to your article. So byline over here means a printed line of text accompanying a news story, article, or giving the author's name. That means the person who is writing the article. So when you write an article, you have to give a headline and also a byline. Now when you start writing an article, as I told you what are the objectives, so we have to give more information about the person whom we are writing. So let's just see the hints which would help you out in writing the article. You could make a list of questions that you find answers to, which you can mold into the body of the article. Body of the article, that means the main content of the article. So you can make a list of some questions and find out the answers to them. See, some examples are given over here. Where was Gessler from? What do you know about his family? Did Gessler enjoy his work? What can you tell about his craft? Were his shoes spectacular? Spectacular means very pretty and very nice. His death was tragic. What does his death say about what kind of person he was? And how did other people react to the news of his death? What does that say about him as a person? So you can answer the questions given over here and try to form a body of the article out of those answers. Here I will share you an image of how to write the article, the format of the article. So students, here you can see the format of the article, or you can say the ingredients of writing an article. The first thing you are going to write is title of the article, that is the headline, then the byline, that is writer's name, and then the body, that is the main part of the article, or you can say the content of the article. In that, the first thing you would be writing is introductive paragraph. That means you can write about who was Gessler, where he was from, what about his family, and what was he doing, what was the work he was doing. Then in the second paragraph, you can write about the description of that person, about his work, and additional information if needed. You can also write about his news of death and how did the people react with it. And last would be your conclusion. That means what do you think about that person? You can write in that portion. So students, I hope that you understood how to write an article. Now let's move on to question number 2. So here the question number 2 is, you recently visited a crafts fair in your city or town. Artisans and craftsmen from various parts of the country had set up stalls at the fair, displaying their wares and showcasing their skills. You have to write an article for your school magazine describing the event. Try to describe what you saw in the terms of images. For example, the dresses were as colorful as painting, the singers were as melodious as nightingales, and don't forget to give a headline and a byline to your article. So students, this is a homework which you have to do. It's about an article. If you have visited a crafts fair, you can write it down by yourself. You can write about the artisans and the craftsmen. That means the persons who does the work of art and craft. For example, painting or carpentry, pottery, all those things. So you can just write about those people and their work and assess the article you have written, and then exchange your work with the partner, and you can give the score to yourself on the scale of 0 to 5. The first thing is self-assessment, and the another column is for peer assessment. That means your friend who has read your article. So once the first column is for you, you can grade yourself or you can give score to yourself, and in the second column your friend will give you the score on the basis of language, the information that is included, vocabulary that you have used. should be appropriate, that means in a proper manner. There are no grammatical or punctual errors. A punctuation in articles, so there shouldn't be any grammatical mistakes or punctuation errors. And the article is reader friendly, that means you have to use a proper language so that the reader finds it easy, and the article has to be written in a simple language so that the reader can understand it properly. Let's move to the next topic, that is speaking. So students, over here in speaking activity, in speaking there is an activity which is given over here which you can carry out along with your friends. So students, you should do this activity. It would improve your speaking skills. So the first question is about what part of the Gessler story did you find most touching? Enact it to the class in the small groups. So you can do a role play where you can act out any specific topic which you consider to be the most touching. For example, for me the most touching part was the death of the Gessler brother, the younger one, who died because of starvation. He was so much into making shoes that he didn't eat properly. And so I think that would be the most touching part of this story, and you can enact it along with your peers at your home. The second question is, do you think the advertisements that you see on TV influence you to choose goods? That means when you see the advertisements on your TV screen, does it influence? That means, does it affect you? And do you go and buy those products once you see that this product is very nice or it would work out for you? Narrate an episode when you bought something after seeing the advertisement. Did it turn out to be as good as it was projected, or were you disappointed? So you need to tell one such episode where you bought something after seeing the advertisement, and you need to tell whether the product you bought was satisfactory or not. That means the things which were shown in the advertisement about the product, were they true or were you disappointed? And after delivering your speech, you can ask your friend to assess you and rate you on the scale of 0 to 5. Over here also, the assessment has to be done on the basis of 6 things. The first is the words and the phrases were well turned. That means the usage of words and phrases has to be proper. The speaker was fluent. That means while speaking, you need to be very careful what you are speaking about, and you shouldn't be stopping again and again. That is called fluency. The speaker pronounced each word clearly. The pronunciation of each of the words should be clear. The narration was coherent. That means it was understandable. The speaker was confident of his style of speaking. That means the person who is speaking should show the confidence while he is speaking. That means he is confident about what he is trying to make you understand. And the audience was persuaded. That means the person who were listening to him listened to him properly and also understood what he was trying to say, and they also decided to go along with the speaker. So students, I would request you to carry out this activity at your home along with your friends in your free time, because it would improve your speaking skills. Students, I request you to open page number 123 in your textbook, Developing Digital Empathy. Now, in this chapter, we have learned about the importance of empathizing with those around us. Empathy means the ability to understand others' feelings and their emotions. Empathy, as we understand, is important to build stable relationships in all walks of life. That means it is very important to understand the feelings of other person and try to have sympathy with that person. Nowadays, most of us spend a significant amount of time on social media. This means that our day to day interactions have also moved on to such platforms. That means nowadays we meet very less people in person, but we do have many friends on social media. So, when we have moved our interactions in day to day life on digital platforms, then we should learn how to show digital empathy. Digital platforms, just like classrooms, are diverse and collaborative space where one can enrich and engage themselves. Just like when you are studying in a classroom along with your classmate, you have so many friends and there are so many different kind of people with whom you can talk to and interact. In the same way, in the digital on the digital platform also, you have such collaborative spaces where you can make friends and you can grow. But we must, therefore, it is important that we reflect on ourselves and ensure digital empathy. So, it is necessary that one should have digital empathy. So, we must make sure to create and maintain a digital safe space for all. That means we need to create a space where everybody feels safe. So let's discuss some of the situations over here. The one of the most important thing which is going on in on digital platform is cyber bullying. Cyber bullying means teasing or trolling somebody on the media. You all might be well aware about the Twitter or Insta where people comment or speak or use bad words while commenting. So that is a bad thing and it's called bullying. So cyberbullying is the use of electronic communication to bully a person, typically by sending messages that are inappropriate or threatening. Inappropriate means the words used in the comments or the messages are not proper. It may be vulgar, it may be bad words, and it would hurt the sentiments and feelings of the person to whom they are writing. Or it may be threatening. Threatening means it may create fear in the person to whom you are writing a message. Now let's see the situation over here and what would you do in such situation. If you or your friend becomes a victim of cyberbullying, what would you do? Now just imagine if you or your friend is the victim. Victim means you are the person who is being bullied on digital platform. Then what would you be doing for that? If such thing happens, you can do the following things. The pointers, way to handle the cyberbullying are, the first thing you can do is don't blame yourself. It's not your mistake, it's the mistake of the person who is trying to bully you. Unplug from technology. Take a break. Turn to trusted friends and adults. So don't keep on talking or staying in touch with such person who keeps on bullying you. Report the cyberbullying to adults and authorities. You can tell about such incidents to your family or friends or to your parents and also to the authorities. That means you can file a report against such person to police or find ways to relieve stress such as exercising, breathing exercises and talking to trusted people. Now let's see the second question. Give examples of information that we should not share on the internet. One has been done for you. So students, nowadays, all of you might be aware that people share even a smallest thing or the smallest incident that happened in their life on the social media, which is not right. So, let's discuss the risk of sharing such information. First thing we should not be discussing on the social media is that we must not share our personal details such as our phone numbers and address. So one should not share your phone number and address on the social media. Some of the other things which you should not disclose on the digital platform are over here. Exact details of an upcoming vacation, because it may cause you the risk of burglary, that means a theft. If you give the exact information about your vacation, that means when you are going to leave and when you are going to come back, where are you going, all those informations may allow the thieves to come and loot your house. The other thing is personal location and geotagged images. That means when you go out somewhere and you click a picture, and if it is geotagged, that means it would show your location. So you shouldn't be doing such things, because it would allow the people to know that you are not at home. Videos and photos of friends taken without their permission, it violates their privacy and can get you in trouble. Sometimes we make videos and photos of our friends and we cannot put such videos and photos of our friends without their permission, because it would hurt their feelings. Other thing is bank information. You shouldn't be keeping any information about your bank, because it would allow the hackers to target you. And detail about your parents' accounts or their address, or if they are moving out, all those things would lead to a security threat. Inappropriate personal pictures, anything that can be used to embarrass you later, should not be posted or shared. That means the personal pictures which are inappropriate, such pictures shouldn't be kept on the social media, because the hackers might misuse such photos of yours and you would be embarrassed about it later on. So students, this is about cyberbullying and the things which you shouldn't be sharing on the internet. You can write your own answers. These are just the sample answers. So students, over here we complete the exercises of the chapter quality. In the next class, we would be moving ahead with the next section of unit 5. Till then, take care students.